Ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you're ready because it's Father's Day, so I'm ready. And I know Paul's back here and he's ready. So let's go.
Who's got two thumbs and ready? This guy.
Well, first off, big happy Father's Day to everybody.
Absolutely.
Who's a father, putting in the work, doing all the stuff and things. Much appreciated to all of you. So yeah, happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I don't know how the show's going to go. Didn't do too much pre-planning for it. They had the final Superman trailer that dropped. I believe it's the final one that we're going to get. Some pros and cons, some hey, what chit chat about that. Look at some comics from this week. A couple of things that I noticed. It's still been a pretty wild week. Getting prepped up for Heroes Con, and when I say getting prepped, I mean absolutely doing nothing to get ready in advance for it. So I need to be working on that. But I'm kind of thinking about doing it. I'm fixing to fix it. But otherwise, we'll just hang out for a little bit, review some books. Probably be a shorter, earlier night. I got crazy week planned, trying to crunch in a lot of stuff in the next few days before Heroes Con, but looking forward to it also. What better way to end the week than right here with everybody who comes and kicks it with us right here. Yeah, shout out to some of the people in the chat. We got ABX Comics and Games in here. What is going on, Paul? Good to see you in here. The Adventurous One, Joseph Michaels. How are you doing today? Pop. Hello, good sir. The countdown to Heroes Con 2025. That's right. What's going on, Rich? Happy Father's Day to you as well. Anger Management, you as well. Ronnie, thank you very much. Happy Father's Day to all of you if you all are fathers. And if you're not a father, happy Father's Day anyways. Just because. So this is it almost feels like a bye week. There's no new television shows. There's no major movie release. And I've been asking people, like, what have you been watching? It's at the point, Paul, where I spent the weekend, like a much needed weekend off from work to kind of reset. I've been watching Naked and Afraid, Butts and Bushes.
Really?
But I mean, like, it's a great show. There's no getting around it. But that's just like the kind of show hole I'm in. The wife's been watching Naked and Afraid, and we're just sitting there, and that's where I'm at now. That's my life right now is Naked and Afraid. But just to remind everybody, if you are Naked and Afraid, or if you're not, you can still go and enter the Epic Summer Giveaway.
Absolutely.
All of these movies are coming up fast. Jurassic Park is like 2 weeks away. Superman right after that. The Fantastic Turtlenecks right after that. It's going to be a blast this summer. Celebrating with this Epic Summer Giveaway. Multiple prize packs. Numerous ways to enter and win. Make sure you go watch this video. This is what it looks like. Go find this picture back in my videos. Enter. Don't miss out. Paul and I will be drawing for all the winners the first Sunday in July. Shortly before we head down, well, I head down to Florida and we do our annual comic crawl and hang out. Looking forward to that. But a lot of good stuff happening, and Heroes Con is this week. I'll be leaving Thursday. I'll be up there Thursday. So if y'all get there early, come by the booth. We're at 1766. We'll have the art books. If you didn't get one, we'll have the Crow Dead Time if it shows up in time. Getting nervous on that one. You can also pre-order both of these at comicshearingcancer.bigcartel.com if you're not going to be at the convention. And if you are, there's going to be stuff there that you will have never seen until you step foot in front of that booth. You won't want to miss out. So get there quick, get there early. We'll have Comics Curing Cancer lanyards, so you can put your badges on C3 lanyards. And don't forget the merch shop. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, follow Comics Curing Cancer. You can find links to the merch shop and everything else. And this is we're getting closer to the event in October, and this is a great little rest stop on the way to do some really cool stuff and help a really great cause. Luke Cage Season 2, Iron Fist Season 2 for Ronnie. Yeah, I really enjoyed Luke Cage. I think Season 2 had like Diamondback or somebody, and I forgot who the bad guy was, but I enjoyed all those. Iron Fist wasn't so keen on. The one was kind of boring, kind of. I don't think it was a casting issue. Just like give us some more of that punching and stuff. I don't know. What's going on, Brian? Good to see you here. We started watching Midsommar Murders TV series. Midsommar was also like a weird movie too, not just a TV series. I still haven't seen that. Midsommar or something. Oh, it looks like something about like a cult almost. Kenny B, what is going on, homie? Hope you're doing good today. All right, so let's look at some of this stuff. You want to start with the Superman trailer? We got the final Superman trailer. Superman content is going to be coming hot and heavy from our channel between now and the 8th of next month. Paul, you did too, right? We're going on the 8th.
Yep.
Yeah, so my tribe, Paul, and numerous other people were lucky enough to get in for the advanced screenings. They're doing large-scale advanced screenings for Superman. It's kind of like what they did for Flash. There's a lot of this marketing that mimics the Flash to me, but instead of showing it at a film convention, what did they do for Flash? It showed it at some film festival, but when it did it, the highest of praises and the words of mouth like just ran rampant. Like it had nothing. No one said anything negative about that movie till after it came out, and countless people had seen it. They're kind of doing the same thing for Superman. They didn't have a festival to premiere it at, so they created their own event almost, and they're doing this crossover with Amazon. So if you're an Amazon Plus member, yeah, that's it. You explain it. I don't get it.
Yeah, as long as you're on Amazon Prime, you could go to Amazon and it would direct you to a particular theater near you. That not every theater is doing it on the Tuesday nights, on the just certain theaters. But there's one, I would say, in the major cities anyway, there probably is one that's going to be close enough to you to go see. But yeah, people are pulling out all the stops. There are some places besides the Tuesday night. If you go, AMC is doing like a fan event on Thursday night at 6:00 where they're giving away a free comic book, a collectible comic book as well. And then of course, there's a million different popcorn buckets you can get.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. I think you said it best. I think in one of the chats was like, as long as I get like a steel bucket, I'll be okay. But
yeah, I like those tin ones. I really do.
Yeah,
that's kind of my jam. You can stack them. They're easy to put up when you're done, or use them as trash cans around the house.
Yeah, I think AMC is doing like that old time newspaper. Container.
Oh yeah.
On the sidewalk. That's what they're doing.
There's one of them that I saw that was an actual dog bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not.
I think that's maybe Cinemark. I think.
Yeah, I'm like, no, thank you.
But it looks like Cinemark is the one that also you'll be able to get like this, like the metal bucket too.
Yeah. So they have some more like deluxe size stuff and stuff. Doesn't look like anything that you'd actively want to put your popcorn in during the movie by any means. Just a collectible. But needless to say, so Tuesday the 8th at 7 p.m. they're doing the advanced screenings, and I mean that's a good time limit. It's just a little bit before, and spoilers are going to be going hot and heavy. People are going to be talking about it. Some people are going to be taking their phones in there. It's just the way that the internet works. So be warned if you're not trying to get any kind of crazy spoilers. You need to bail off social media. Like don't like people who complain about spoilers since social media was invented. So I don't think people are going to stop doing spoilers. Just if you don't want to, it sucks to suck, but just get off social media.
Because people who put them out there know that spoilers are like car accidents. You don't actively look. You don't like to see them, but you got to take a peek at them sometimes too.
And then to make matters worse, when you see them and you get mad, what do? You go and you comment, giving them engagement, making them want to do it even more. Yeah, that's
like, why did you read it?
This is spoiler. This is circle. But yeah, definitely excited about that. The trailer was pretty wild. It gave us a lot more action in this trailer. We see a lot of flight footage that looked really cool, with like Superman flying around, dodging the pillars of fire that I'm assuming are from the kaiju battle, and watching kind of like the flight dynamics and just how he can just turn on a dime in air and stuff. It looked really cool. There's a couple of shots that also reminded me of the Flash. A lot of it just looked like ridiculous CGI. Like I'm not one to complain. It won't ruin a movie for him by any stretch of the imagination. But in terms of wanting this to be something that people can't complain about, they're really making it easy for people to complain. Mm-hmm. And the CGI definitely looks like Flash level CGI. But I'm loving how much people all of a sudden think it looks awesome. Like they should go back and watch the Flash again. They might love it this time if that's the case, because that was the biggest criticism of the Flash, if I remember correctly, was CGI and the weird perspectives and stuff. And we get a lot of shots like this, and it just looks different, we get the good stuff like this. That's legitimately a freeze frame from the flying, and it's not like it just flies by real fast. The camera stays on him and pans around him, and just this wide angle lens. It's like a fisheye lens. It's not even a wide angle lens. It's like a fisheye lens or something. It's definitely a choice that they made, because this is not rushed. This is not, we didn't pay the CGI department enough. They didn't have time. This has been worked on proper amount of time. But then you get people that are complaining about this, which I think this looks crisp. Like that right there, to me, looks crisp. Broad daylight, vibrant colors, like the cape up in the air like that. Like, I mean, this is going to, and look, they're at the Meteor Stadium too. That's dope. There's some really cool stuff, but there's definitely some stuff that was, some of it's definitely a choice. Like they said that about the Flash. It was a choice. We did. This is how we wanted it to look.
And I mean, the Flash had even longer to get ready, because that just kept, they filmed it and they kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off.
6 years, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So.
But yeah, this I think, I can't remember who it was that came out and said that the way that they approached the special effects in this was they wanted it like to match what was happening in the scene or something like that, along those lines, which I'm like, like you have that distorted weird body shape when he's like flying at super high speeds and you're close up to him, and okay, all right, that's what you want to do it.
Well, and the other thing too is, like, I mean, he really seems to be pushing. I mean, obviously it was filmed for IMAX, but he also seemed to really be pushing the 3D thing. So
they did say that, didn't they?
Yeah. So maybe that a lot of that stuff will look better in 3D. Maybe it'll actually look like he's coming out of the screen. And
I have a hard time being too forgiving about that, because like man, it's not even fair to use this example, but what's like the best looking 3D movie out there?
Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't saying that because even though it may look great in 3D, well, guess what? Probably the only place that we're going to see it in 3D is that one time in the theater. If I'm going to buy it at home, I'm not going to see it in 3D. So you need to make sure that it looks right for me at home too.
Yeah, very true. And that when they said that 3D thing, my thought didn't go into it from that angle. I just thought, well, of course you'd promote a 3D screen. Go see it in 3D. The tickets are $3 to $5 more pop. Of course you want us to see it in 3D. But if it's good, I'll be happy to go back and watch it again. I love going to the theater. I love enjoying watching them in that environment. And if, like with Avatar, I saw it in the high frame rate. I saw it in IMAX 3D. I saw it in regular. But we'll see. We'll see. And this one time at Bandcamp, we got some more clips from it that also gave us more of the we had that one clip where you see like Superman's back and he's holding baby Joey in his hand, and you see like these tentacles coming out holding Superman. If you look off to the side, that's actually Metamorpho that's metamorphed out and holding him. But if you look in the background, it looks like almost in space, but there's like this whole like prism of colors out there and little cubes and stuff, which looks very Guardians of the Galaxy-ish and everything. And we also got a shot of Mr. Terrific leaning down and saying, "Hey, get up and come help," or something like that. And Superman pops his head up and goes, "Oh, I'm working on a bunch of really important stuff over here." Oh, and he goes back. And I'm like, dude, everything that I was concerned about before we got into any trailers or anything, it was all present in this. Like the color palette, the design, it's definitely Guardians of the Galaxy. The campiness, the humor, the jokes were all present in the trailer. It's definitely Guardians of the Galaxy. I was really hoping early on that like James Gunn has a very specific style. He has a very specific angle, humor, writing approach and stuff. I was hoping that he was going to do something new that we haven't seen, like really stretch the bounds of his capability and deliver something that we sit back and be like, dang, add that to the list, add that to his tool belt. We didn't know you had that in you, but clearly we're not doing that. So I'm only pointing that out because I'm trying super hard to have my expectations managed properly for this movie. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go in there and think like X, Y, and Z and come out like, God, that could have been so much better. Should have been this, should have been that. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I want to attempt to enjoy it for what it is and not just be like bitter the whole time. Because ultimately, like I prefer like a more serious approach to some of this stuff. I really think we're past an era when people enjoy the toilet humor, the fast food cinema style to these superheroes. If we're going to continue to make superhero movies something that people want to show up to see and invest in, we have to do something different, because we've been doing this tone, this comedic style. We've been doing this now for a decade with the MCU. And it's not that like most of the MCU was not bad, not by a country mile. Most of it was really good. But we done it. It done got used to it. We need new toys. You gotta change it up for the viewers. So I'm a little concerned in that aspect. Ultimately, I think my bias is going to carry me through this, no matter how it goes. Because I naturally just love so many of these characters. But I want it to be so much more than that. I want it to dominate. I want it to draw in a huge audience. I want the general audience to get curious and start picking up books, and I wanted to do for DC what the early MCU did for Marvel. It just want to be good.
Yeah, that's why I mean, and I was talking to someone, I didn't even write in one of the chats, but that, dollar wise, it matters dollar wise how much it does, but to me, the main thing is if it launches a successful DC universe, that to me is the biggest thing that I think it has to do.
Yeah.
If it doesn't exactly make, $750 million to, make back its entire budget, whatever,
Sledge says you should never change your expectations. Either they meet them or they don't. Don't apologize for other failings. Oh, don't think for 1 second I won't call it this or that. I'm just saying to make it more enjoyable, so I don't sit there like a bitter SOB. Yeah, managing your expectations, it's not changing them, it's just managing them. I'm not lowering my standards, is what that sounds like. In no way am I lowering my standards. Not one bit. But I just don't want to be caught off guard. Like there's plenty of movies that I've seen that I enjoyed them more the more I watched them, because all right, I now know what to expect from watching this. I was under the assumption we were doing a Captain America movie. We did a Hulk movie, and needless to say, that one I'll never rewatch again. But that's just because it was a shit movie. But yeah, I want to be able to enjoy it. We're getting Metamorpho on the big screen. I mean, that's cool in itself. It's going to be zany. I'm not really feeling the zany. I've seen a lot of people, in the apologetics camp for this movie. It's like straight Silver Age. This is awesome, dude. Nobody reads Silver Age stuff anymore because it ran its course. A Silver Age comic doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
it just doesn't.
Most of the time the logic is questionable at best in Silver Age stories,
and then they're as goofy as you can imagine.
Exactly. The plot is as simplistic as you could possibly think of for the most part.
No, we'll see where it goes. There's some really cool looking stuff in that trailer, though, man.
Don't get me wrong, I love Silver Age books. Send them to me.
Yeah, I'm still going through the Silver Age Aquaman stuff and the DC Finest, and it's hilarious. The dude's like doing the goofiest stuff you can think of, and it's legitimately hilarious. But if you're able to read between the panels and like look past it, like the context of the story is there, and that's kind of what you carry with you. It's kind of like being an adult Power Ranger fan. You look back on it with nostalgia, and that helps. But it's campy, it's goofy, it's low budget. But the actual context of the story, if you just went and you put it down in bullet points on a napkin, it's a serious story. Like on paper it is, but in execution it's a little different. But when you're a big fan of something, you're able to see to that concept a lot easier. I haven't seen a serious superhero movie since The Samaritan. Yeah, they need to do a second one of those. That was really good. That's the Sylvester Stallone movie. It was on Amazon Prime. So Rich Comics should go watch your filthy mouths.
I agree.
Some good stuff there for sure. There's a big news coming out of the DC Animation Studios. You see that?
Yeah, you didn't even mention the there's that. But in the trailer, didn't we get our first view of Ultraman without a mask on?
Possibly. And I can
hear him like getting punched and like teeth coming out of his mouth, and
that was that was not Ultraman.
Well, do you think that was just one of Lex's?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we did see Ultraman, however, using heat vision.
Yeah, so this is not a high res image, but I can pull it over. So I know you saw that shot where
Oh yeah, I know what you're
there's
talking about.
like where he's like up in the air and he's spinning around, shooting all the
Yep.
people with the eye lasers. It's all Lex's goons that are wearing the Lex battle armor.
Right.
So he
Look,
punches the
that's
dude.
the Superman with the pink eye.
Yeah. Yeah. From poop particles working their way into your ocular cavities.
Yep.
But yeah, he punches this dude, him and Crypto fly up. And this again, the animation of this guy's face looked like a cartoon. It looked like it was straight out of PlayStation 2 graphics. This I don't criticize CGI, but after watching everybody go so hard against the CGI in the Flash, which I wasn't seeing what they were seeing, except when you're in the Speed Force, which I legit thought that was on purpose, because we're not looking at real people. We're looking at like literally manifestations of energy of people in a Speed Force. So why are you expecting
distorted?
Yes, but like in terms like the fight with Zod and the Supergirl flying and the Batwing, like all that to me looked amazing. Flash running up the building, running through Hyper, like I thought that looked great. So I didn't get that. So I just feel it necessary to point out that if you are campaigning for this, what were you saying about the Flash?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But there was a shot that we get of Superman fighting somebody who's shooting eye lasers with him in like a subway or something, and I think it's clearly meant to be Ultraman without the mask on, but they were intentionally like distorting his face. He's like in the shadows, all that kind of stuff. But one thing that some people do these days, they play with the whole, what is it called, AI.
Right.
AI, and with AI they can sharpen up images and stuff, and this is the actual shot, so you can't see him, but you can see that he's got the eye lasers. I mean, it's got to be Ultraman if that's the case. This is ultimately what's going to happen with Ultraman. We also saw Superman grab like a big piece of metal or something and swing it and smack him, and when he did that, it looked like they were in that what's it called, Phantom Zone or the pocket dimension, wherever it may be. But somebody took AI and upscaled that photo. Now, granted, AI has to take a lot of liberties when upscaling that photo. I want to see if I can find it real quick because it looks really, really cool. And people are like, "Oh, Henry Cavill is in." No, like you very well could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be disgusting if they did that, not in a good way. Like if you talk about pouring salt on a wound, that's just. I'm just, man, finding this picture not as easy as it was. I've seen it like 10 times, and now I can't find it anywhere. But when they upscaled it, it looked really cool. It legit looks pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't see it at this point. But I just think it's going to be another David Corny sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely think it's going to be a David Corny sweat. We got Drew Manchu hitting the new member button. Dude, big shout out to Drew and a big thank you in celebration of talking about Superman. Let's hit him with a little bit of Superman clippage. How about it?
Hey.
That was insane. Like when they showed that at the end of the trailer, my hands went like, whoa. Yeah, so that's another big thing from the trailer. We're going to be seeing this guy doing a lot of stuff we've never seen him do on the big screen, just flying around super fast, fighting people, having to punch stuff. We saw the Zod fight, obviously in Man of Steel. This is going to be a little bit different. I want the tone of Winter Soldier, not all this comedy-infused crap. 1,000% agree. He's going to end up being Bizarro. You think they're going to go that route? Kind of like do what they did with Superman and Lois and take a few different concepts and kind of just build their own take on it, so it's fresh.
I would not be surprised if it was Bizarro at all.
What is going on, Brian? Me neither. Ultraman is not gonna. It's not gonna be any kind of resemblance of Ultraman from Earth 3. Obviously, that's just gonna be. We have a Superman, but we have our own. We'll call it Ultraman. It's more than super. It's just gonna be a name attached to him. It's going to be like any of the other like little Lex experiments. We know he's doing the experimenting in this and the making of things. We got the kaiju. We got that weird white Martian looking thing in the trailer. All kinds of stuff hiding in there. All kinds of stuff. For those shots look like the same FX Corman used. Oh, God. Yeah. What's going on, John? Good to see you and your happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. What is going on? J-Med is in the building. What's up? What's up? But yeah, so far, what are you most excited for with the Superman film?
I think it's just the character himself is seeing him doing, seeing him as Superman. And again, we talk about all the special effects and everything, but to me, it's going to be what part of the man of Superman does he show us? Same thing that I liked the most about, Superman and Lois. It was the man part. The super part was almost, you know, just kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Super?
It was important, but to me, the man part of the person is the more important part of Superman.
Yeah, it's kind of where the rest of the character builds off of, right?
Right.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of it. And didn't they've officially announced, like, isn't Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El?
He does a voice in it or whatever. I don't know if you're going to see him, but
That'd be a shame. That's a big thing. Like, I don't know what we're doing, like, Krypton wise, right? Like, we don't have we've seen, like, are we doing flashbacks? Are they going to get into any of that whatsoever?
I would think they have to be flashbacks because he has said that when the movie starts, Superman has been Superman for 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. Here's a wild one. Let's get some feedback. What the hell is even this? Lex has got his experiments. We know he's got little baby Joey. It's probably how he's got Metamorpho working for him. But we got this thing, this creature. Is this a white Martian? Is this Ultraman before he gets finished growing, or like what?
Yeah, maybe it's
what are we looking
Bizarro.
at? Yeah, it could be.
It does kind of look like Gollum a little bit.
He needs a pair of pants. Solomon Grundy needs a pair of pants. Oh man. Superman is going to be good. I'm just worried that my expectations are too high. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. My only concern is international audience with DC Superman at the box office. I think it's going to be pretty big international.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's pretty he's one of those world-known figures, like 80 years of unbroken.
And the second attempt to try to stop it from being released overseas apparently has failed.
Failed. You have failed, good sir. I can't wait for the double feature, seeing the original Superman movie on the big screen for the very first time. So giddy. Oh, yeah, there you go. Summer box office prediction: 1, Lilo and Stitch; 2, Jurassic Park; 3, Fantastic Turtlenecks; 4, Mission Impossible; 5, F1; 6, oh, man. I bet F1 doesn't do hardly nothing at the box office. I mean, nothing. Yeah. Like, that's going to be a massive box office flop. Lilo and Stitch, it's about that's going to be good. So I've learned out. Dinosaur is always a good. Fantastic Turtlenecks, I think, is going to fizzle earlier than they hope. I bet it does like 6 to 7 something. And then Mission Impossible is already done.
It just passed $500 million.
Yeah, it's already pretty much wrapped. I don't know. That's hard to say with Tom Cruise stuff though, because it can just pull off that 1 year trek through the box office, pulling 7 to 10 every weekend kind of thing. But yeah, I think How to Train Your Dragon is going to be a good one. Superman is going to be massive, though. I'm calling it now. Like, pointing to the stand. Superman's going to be massive.
Yeah, definitely going to be.
Superman's going to be the second biggest movie of the year behind only Avatar.
Yeah.
And Kevin, you don't have Avatar on here anywhere.
Well, Avatar. He's looking summer box office. So.
Oh, summer. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. For the year, though, I think Avatar is like that's a layup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that domestic audience is looking huge. It's projecting 140 to 180 in some estimates. Superhuman. What's going on, Tate? What's up? Will we get Bibbo Babowski? We got everyone else. I hope so. That'd be cool. I mean, that's a character that deserves a cameo. Like just a conversation in his diner or something. How to Train Your Dragon live action isn't going to overperform at the box. I don't think so either, but I think it'll do well. As sad as it makes me feel, I'm not going to see Fantastic Turtlenecks. It will be a maybe when it's streaming. I'm not excited at all for it. I'm right there with you. I'll go see it because I do this.
Right.
If I didn't do this, I would not torture my father. Because that's what going to see an MCU movie is anymore. It's me torturing my father.
Yeah.
Because I make him come with me. I buy his ticket. Like, dude, come on, let's go. It's father-son time. We're bonding.
Right. How to Train Your Dragon just did $83 million this weekend.
Oh, it released this. Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Is that domestic or world?
That's the domestic.
That's just domestic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, you think that could be a sleeper?
Another 114 international, so almost $200 million in a weekend.
Damn. Yeah, that's a contender for the bill.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pulling a quarter on your opening weekend like that, you're definitely. And I didn't even realize it released this weekend, but we're most certainly planning on seeing it. And that's realistically, that's one that we would most likely watch when we get to the island. Not that island, people, chill. A different island. One that kids are welcome at and they're supposed to be at. Some are fun and stuff. But there's a little theater on the island, and we love hitting it. And How to Train Your Dragon would definitely be one that would be a great afternoon movie. Spell Bilbo Baggins. Yeah. Yo, just came back from my shift. Missed you guys. What's going on, Herb? Hope you had a good shift. Superman yeah, dude. He's literally like the most worldwide known superhero that exists. Like you can go to any country on this planet, like even fourth world ones, if those even exist. You hear people mention third world countries all the time, but let's consider the fourth world countries for once. They'll have two kinds of t-shirts: the losing team of the NFL Super Bowl and Superman shirts. They'll have them.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the fourth world one will have two: Superman and Darkseid is.
Darkseid is. Yeah. They always get the printed shirts from the teams that don't win the Super Bowls.
Right, exactly.
You see if you watch some videos, you're just like, oh, cool, you got a Super Bowl shirt, and you're like, wait a minute, Falcons? That's not right. How to Train Your Dragon just beat Lilo and Stitch this weekend. I mean, Lilo and Stitch has been out for a month though.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch was the number one like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's a big movie. How to Train Your Dragon crushed it. Yeah, we've been talking about that, how it's in the sweet spot. It's in the pocket for how long it's been since that movie originally came out to this live action remake. It's in the pocket where you're getting both audiences, the people that were kids and the people that now have little kids, and then a lot of gray area before and after. Really loved everything to come out so far. Loved Cap 4, Thunderbolts. Looking forward to FF, F1, JF. A lot of them. I'm looking forward to F1 for sure. I think, unfortunately, that's not one that I think I'll carve out time to see on the big screen, but I would love to. It looks like it's made for it.
Yeah, I think that's, of all the movies that we mentioned, I think that's probably going to draw the lead. Worldwide is going to draw probably, or domestically, it's going to draw the lead.
Domestically. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Like soccer and Formula One are so much bigger than they are here in the States.
IndyCar and NASCAR in America, so.
Yeah, let's go with NASCAR. Yeah, but can you turn left? You know what I mean? F1 is definitely an IMAX flick. Story doesn't seem great. Oh, what is going on, Ryan? What's up? I was just hanging out with the original Black Ranger, Walter. Definitely watching Fantastic Turtleneck, Superman, and Dragon Summer of Hope. Let's go. Yeah, I hope it's good, man. I hope they're all good. I really do. I'm sure, dude. We were at the Walmart picking up yard bags, and we always go hit the toy aisles, and they had the entire new wave of Jurassic Park figures for this new movie. They got the new Spinosaurus, the new T-Rex, and the new D-Rex, and they had it there. I held it. I looked at it. They changed the mechanics up because even when there aren't Jurassic Park movies releasing, Jurassic Park toys always release. They just go to like the Camp Crustacean stuff because they have the Netflix show. They do repaints. They do like little upgrades to existing, like there's numerous T-Rexes, but they'll do a different upgrade where they have different features. This new wave has almost like gear mechanics in it, where instead of just you push a button and their mouth opens simultaneously, instead of that, you push down the button and when you let it go, it rolls the mechanics. So the head goes up and down and the mouth opens and the tail will be wagging simultaneously. The D-Rex has a thrashing feature. You push it down and it goes down and it bites and then it does this rattle thing, just shake back and forth. And you're like, oh, damn.
Wow.
But it's super cool, dude. I had to kick myself in the shin to not buy it today.
Which
But I told the kids we weren't going there for toys, which means me too.
Right. Which is not an easy thing to do, to kick yourself in the shin.
No, but I did it. I did it. Summer of hope indeed. Absolutely. Looked at it, saw the price, and returned it to the shelf for fear of dropping it. Yeah, I don't even know how much it was. I'm assuming it was probably close to $50. Yeah. But yeah, it was a decent weekend. But I did manage to find a McFarlane figure. That's why we couldn't get toys today. I told the kids when we were on the way, we can look, but we can't get any toys. Which, I mean, that means me too. Unless they had some Superman movie figures I needed, then we'd all bought toys. But they didn't. But the day before, I just bought them toys. Finn picked out some stuff. Monkey picked out some stuff. And I found the gold label for the Superman movie wave. This is the, they say it's battle damage, but the dude's just been playing outside in the dirt. But really, it's burnt. You see scenes of it in the trailer, like when he blocks the fire and he looks up, you can see the scorched suit and everything. I got to tell you, that whatever they did to this to put that on there really made it look like super textured and more realistic. It looks really good. It looks really good. I was happy to find that. Still on the hunt for the red platinum figure, Mr. Terrific, the super robot number 4, and then Ultraman and Lex Luthor, and that's the set. Can't tell you guys that.
I don't think you're gonna at some point do Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl.
Would hope so. The Spin Master have him in the 6-inch figures. Yeah. I was definitely hoping for a Guy Gardner at the very least. I mean, I have a Hawkman from the movie stuff with Black Adam. That'd be great to get a Hawk Girl, even in her stupid Terrific Tech outfit. Even though her Terrific Tech outfit doesn't seem too far off base, like not from like the traditional comics, but like just in the modernized stuff, it ain't too far. It's gonna be hard to top what they did with Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. Like that was just flawless suit, like from tip to toes, flawless. He looked amazing. Can't tell you guys, with Absolute DC, Marvel's Ultimate stuff, Ghost Machine, great films, the good new days are here. We are Legion. Yeah, we're in like the golden age all over again for all of these things. All of these things. What do you think of the Yeti toy that came with the Fortress of Solitude? Whatever scene is being referenced seems gnarly. Yeah, the craziest thing about that is they had it. It came with like Superman, Crypto, Ultraman, I think a little Engineer. These are like little 2.5-inch figures that come with it. But the Yeti comes to pieces. Like you can sever its arm and its leg. I'm like, what are they going to do to this poor, abominable snowman that just needs to see a dentist? Like, that's not cool. It's gonna cry about its tooth in front of Ultraman, and he's just gonna savagely kill it. I think they're gonna, like, why would they make the toy if it's not gonna happen in the movie? You know,
he should know that he shouldn't just push it off a cliff.
True. It also makes me think with the kaiju, you know, the kaiju figure that comes with Superman from Spin Master, you punch him in the chin and his gut opens up and the goo comes out. So is that ultimately what they're going to do to this creature in the movie? Is it not Superman, obviously, but is someone going to kill it by busting its gut open and just getting blue goo all over the city? Made me think of that. Kevin Smith's story about polar bears being fought outside the Fortress of Solitude. Keep Kevin Smith away from writing anything comic related. Not safe. Not safe. All right, shifting gears, but not shifting gears. James Gunn did make some statements this weekend about how he's going to be approaching moving forward with the DCU. And I'm connecting some dots here because I saw this past week where Nathan Fillion has officially filmed the next Guy Gardner appearance in a future DCU project. We've been saying early on, I mean, before Nathan Fillion was cast as Guy Gardner, that they're going to kill a Green Lantern and Lanterns. James Gunn said years ago now that Lanterns is going to be in the vein of True Detective, where terrestrial-bound Green Lantern, Hal Jordan and John Stewart come together over an investigation over da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like a murder investigation. True Detective, that is a murder investigation. And now you introduce Guy Gardner first. They're going to kill this guy off in Lanterns. Well, he's officially filmed his next scenes, and really it can only be Lanterns or Supergirl. That's the only two options, is the only two things actively going. So I'm seeing those things coming together still. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but it seems like it's more plausible. And that being the case, James Gunn said in an interview that the death rule applies in the DCU. Did you see that?
I did. He said he would not be opposed to using a Lazarus pit, but that would have to be. It would have to really be a part of a story and not something just to bring somebody back from the dead. Although otherwise, dead is dead.
Dead is dead. That's why I say every day is a good day. Try missing one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come back from that. A lot of love everywhere. JLU, World's Finest crossover is great. Yeah. We've been covering that on the DC Deep Dive. One World Under Doom has also been really good. I skipped out on that one. Man, I'm not sure about Superman. I miss Cal, so I'll just give DC films a break until I'm ready to get back in. Loved Gun Suicide Squad and would look forward to his Justice League International. Plus the Question. Yeah, I'd like to see a Question. That would be dope. I think we were more likely to see the Question appear in the Peacemaker show before anywhere else, though, because that's where the Charlton characters are really played with. We had Peacemaker in there. They brought in Judo Master for season 1.
Yep.
I feel like it's just they're obligated to bring in another one for season 2, right? Whether it be Captain Atom, Shade, bringing Johnny Cannon or whatever.
Maybe that's where we'll see the Blue Beetle character again.
Yeah, that's where they could introduce the Blue Beetle, like that would be cool. You can even do Dan Garrett just for fun, because he's awesome in the comics right now. Saw Ballerina, think it was an 8 out of 10. That's one that I'll catch down the road.
Yeah, that's the John Wick one, right?
Yeah. From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. That's the actual title. I'd like to see it all on a marquee, the whole thing. Just Ballerina. No, I'm not here for that. I'm here for From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
Right.
Who is Hammer of Boravia? Funko has a pop coming tied to the movie. This is an original character made for the movie. It's a guy in a suit that you can punch. So Superman, like I'm guessing, just piecing together clues that we have. That whole interview that he does with Lois, where he interjected and stopped a war from taking place. Maybe it was in Boravia, and these people are a little jaded, so he has to fight this guy about it. It's a good way of making toys. That's one thing I noticed, Paul, because I spend time in toy aisles. There's so many freaking toys, so many, and that's kind of how these superhero movies should be, right? They should fuel the toys, which fuels the excitement of kids to want to see the movie. And there's been a huge disconnect for a long time where like people just kids weren't playing with toys, or kids playing with toys again. I know mine do. I mean, I don't compare mine. I don't have what is it, like screen kids, they bought like refillable water balloons today. That's what they did all day, But toys seem to be making a comeback, which that's cool when you're making. Last time they made a superhero movie for the toy company was Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
That was really it. I remember when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man toys came out, there was a lot of those. I actually got all of them. Still have all of them. Yeah, there's a long gap there when you didn't seem the same.
Yeah, because even the Marvel movies, they did action figures, but they really didn't do necessarily like toys with them, I don't think.
Yeah, you get like the McFarlanes or stuff, but those aren't stuff like you're buying for your kid. Like, yeah, you can buy this $30 toy.
The Spin Master ones to me are more of the stuff that you would play with. That's the stuff that you do with the toys.
Yeah, now that we're in the DCU era, because Spin Master was doing those 3-inch ones for like Flash, for Aquaman, and all that, but now they're doing legit 6-inch figures that have like punching action and cool little accessories and play sets, and like they're going all in. You guys watch Andor, my favorite Star Wars ever as an adult, holding out for the Jango Fett prequel film. Dude, are we getting a Jango Fett prequel? Is that a thing?
No.
Dude, if that was a thing, come on.
Not announced anyway.
Come on. Like, outside of Anakin, that's my favorite Star Wars character. That'd be dope. I didn't watch Andor. Paul did. He said it was fantastic. Did you catch the new Predator movie on Hulu, Killer of Killers? We did. We covered that last week. It was amazing. I think that the Bullet storyline was kind of jumped the shark. Didn't really match the tone of the shield and the sword. The whole character from the Bullet just seemed a little bit too corny to match the rest. But overall, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I like Cavill as much as the next guy, but I'm still waiting for him to show me a great depiction of Superman. A fan of the actor, a fan of the man. Not sure why people really care about recasting. Dude, I'm not sure where these Cavill fans were when he was Superman. We've talked about that. like as a DC fanboy, as a Snyderverse fanboy, I have no problem with James Gunn's DCU. I'm excited to see what comes next. As a fan and a defender of Cavill's Superman, I don't remember any of these people here 5 years ago. I don't remember any of these people here 4 years ago. So I don't understand where all the pushback is coming from now. You know what I mean? Even when they brought Cavill back in Black Adam, where the hell were people at? They weren't going there to support him, to support the cause. The same people that are like the nay to the recasting, that are mad about recasting, are not the people that spend money on these things. They are the people that pirate watch it and just hang out on Reddit. This isn't the same thing. Definitely should have them for comic movies, not just Funkos. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Funkos. They're cool, but it's not. They don't have enough articulation. Just little.
Yeah, there should be kids should go see the movie, and they should go home, and there should be millions of kids who have Superman and Ultraman flying at each other.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Let's see. Fantastic Turtlenecks has an incredible Lego set, Galactus, and all 4 figures, but haven't seen anything else. Superman already has me for like 100 in merch. Yeah, I feel you with that. And every time we go on the store, Finn is trying to convince me to buy the Kaiju play set. I'm like, bro, if you want the Kaiju play set, you have to pick it out. I have my Kaiju. I have my own Kaiju. You need your own Kaiju. But I have my Kaiju. Exactly. Which, I'll be honest with you, the Spin Master one's better than this one. It's got more points of articulation. Goo comes out of it.
Did you, I'm sure you saw, but did you get the Godzilla and Superman?
Mm-mm.
No.
I did not pre-order it. I didn't get the Kong and Batman. I'm not a fan of that Kong mold at all because the elbows don't bend, which is just, that's a crime against humanity to make those sets and not put articulation points in the elbows. Like, that's crazy. There's so many good Kong figures, so many good Godzilla figures from countless different companies, and I've got tons of them. And then on top of that, I forget who makes the sets that I get. You know, I get like all the movie figures for Godzilla X Kong already from that certain company. I've completed the whole set all the way up to current, and I'll do it again when Supernova comes out. And then you got Finn over here who gets like collectible ones and all this stuff because we'll go to Dead Media where they'll have them out of the box and all that, but complete, and he gets all kinds. So we are in no short supply of good Godzilla figures of all different sizes. We have a legendary Godzilla figure that's 3 feet tall and like probably 4 feet long from nose to tail. If I want to do Superman versus Godzilla, I've got the legendary Godzilla to do it with.
Nice.
And then we have like Supermans of all different sizes. So I can take
you can get the actual like real to life, right?
Yeah. Like, so yeah. Now that I'm thinking about that, me and Finn might have to make a video for his channel doing just that.
Yeah.
Move over, McFarlane. I think it's about having a good amount of time between reboots. If I really love the casting, it's hard to get back. Bought a bunch of Superman stuff, books, comic films. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why it was good that was like the first thing that he did. He's like, all right, we got to rip the Band-Aid off. We're just going to call it now. David Cornsweat doesn't have like a place in a lot of people's mind. I've only ever seen him in Twisters. No clue who this guy is, what he can do, what he's capable of. That could be strength to it. It could be a weakness to it. They got to win us over, though. They're not privileged to any of our admiration. You got to earn it. But we'll see what happens. For a lot of people, Henry Cavill is Superman. That was their introduction to him in live action. They rode with it for a handful of years. I love Henry Cavill as Superman, but he was never Superman to me. He was always Henry Cavill playing Superman. When I read Superman comics, when someone says Superman, my mind goes to Superman 100% of the time, without exception, under any scenario, do I think of anybody but Christopher Reeve. That's just how I was raised. That's how I grew up. I was watching that movie before I could read, and I've watched it more times than I can count. He embodies everything about that character perfectly, and that'll never change, I don't think, for me, and that's okay. Everyone else is, Tyler Hoechlin was the closest thing to ever come to it by a country mile. No one has ever played Superman better than Tyler Hoechlin other than Christopher Reeve, in my opinion. That guy just nailed it. Nailed it. Calverine. Oh, that'd be wild. Can you imagine if they actually did that and not just left it as a joke? Yeah, we haven't had a bad Superman actor. Marvel Legends is always late to the party with movie figs since they got burned overproducing Eternals merch. Yeah, you can still go buy any of the Eternals figures you want. They're at any of your local Ollie's, discounted down as far as they can go, and they're still just sitting there. No Way Home Electro just came out. I did see that one. That looks pretty cool. That's one of those deluxe box size ones.
Wow.
There's some cool Marvel Legends out there. They're doing these like retro packaging that comes like a miniature comic. I've always liked the Ultimate Iron Man suit from the OG Ultimate run. And I just seen one of those. I was like really tempted. I'm like, golly, there's a lot of good toys these days. Fantastic car would be cool. Playmates makes the GXK figures. There you go. Yeah, those things are amazing. Amazing. Tons of points of articulation, too. What is going on, Retroverse? Just started watching Turok Son of Stone movie. Hey, that's a really good movie. Yeah, it's super solid. It's actually free to watch on YouTube. If you have YouTube, look it up sometime. So they've got a Daily Planet popcorn bucket. There is one, but it's like the newspaper dispenser for the Daily Planet newspaper. That'd have been cool to get one shaped like the planet and you just grab the globe and tilt it back or something.
Mm-hmm.
In a couple series and was in the movie Pearl and was killed off by Miyagoth. Not sure Marvel Disney has any clear idea of how they effectively market the MCU at this point. No, they definitely don't. But to that point, that really kind of leads us into it. You see where Bob Iger threw in the towel? Well, more like he threw a grenade into the MCU. Just, I'm taking your budget. Cut the cord.
Yeah. And I also heard, maybe it was last week, but now he's thinking that maybe 2 movies is not enough per year.
That could be fair, but look at the give or take there. Like, maybe we should do more movies, but I'm not going to give you as much money for them. Or you do 2 movies and we give you too much for them and they cost us money.
I don't want to forget, I interrupted you before when you brought up the Mr. Miracle thing. Don't want to forget.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I want to hit this comment, then we'll switch gears. Man of Steel came out during a very hard time in my life. It gave me a lot of help when I felt lonely. 2013 was one of the toughest years, and that story helped me exactly what Soups needs to do. 1,000%, man. 1,000%. And when Man of Steel came out, that was before the Dark Knight Rises tragedy happened, which changed the theater experience for everybody in this country. Back in the day, a movie comes out on Friday, that's what it did. The earliest they could show it was at 12:01 a.m. Thursday night, technically Friday morning. When Man of Steel came out, my mom and dad are separated. My mom and dad didn't really talk, didn't really spend much time together. They'd see each other at like rare events or occasions or kind of thing until my kids came along, and now everyone gets along amazingly. It's really cool. But in 2013 was one of the rare times my parents were in the same place at the same time, because we went at 12:01, me, my mom, my dad, and at the time my oldest, Emma, who just sat in my lap for the whole movie, and we all watched Superman because Superman is always an occasion. And now, fast forward years later, me, my wife, my dad, that little girl who sat in my lap is starting her first year of college in a month. She'll be sitting next to me. My little boy and my youngest daughter are all going to be there on Tuesday at that early screening, because Superman is something that your whole family goes to see. And that's why this movie is going to be huge, because that story, how this character resonates with you, resonates with me, resonates with Paul, resonates with people across the seas, the world over. That's what's got me very hopeful for this, despite how I have reservations. But it's a very, very, very powerful character. Very powerful character. All right, let's hit it, Paul. Boom. Tell us about it. What is this? What am I looking at? And why should I be excited?
So James Gunn announced that they will be doing an adult-oriented Mr. Miracle series for HBO Max.
Based on what, Paul?
Based on, well, Tom King is the showrunner, so it's based on Tom King's miniseries that he did with Mitch Gerads. So I said, you know, if one of the episodes is not based on a vegetable plate, we're all, there's no justice in this world.
There's no justice in the universe. Yo, it's going to be amazing. I can't tell you how much I'm excited for Tom King's involvement in the overall DCU. Hate to harp on Superman here, but all we've gotten is James Gunn stuff so far. People are thinking about a Suicide Squad movie. People saw the Creature Commandos, and then we got the Superman. That's a lot of James Gunn on the front, and then the Peacemaker. But he's not the only creative adding to the DCU. Supergirl is being done by other creatives. Lanterns on HBO is other creatives. And now this is being show ran by Tom King. So the DCU ultimately, if we could fast forward the tape 2 years down the road, the DCU is going to be a very versatile brand where different projects have different tones, themes, story matter, or story subject. And Mr. Miracle is a very, very, very serious, surreal story. Scott-free, the son of Highfather, given to Darkseid as a peace treaty, raised on Apocalypse, learned how to escape better than anybody else in the known multiverse. The one thing at the end of his rope that he's wondering if he can escape is death itself. Ultimately, doing that one act you're not allowed to talk about on social media because the word is a no-no, but the self-harm act. Ultimately, it's about him surviving a self-harm act and unpacking the stuff that came with that. It's a powerful story, and it's one hell of an Orion story, too. And that's, I can't wait. Can't wait for a 60-40 success rate on my TV. Hey, all they got to do is pluck the successes. They already know which ones work. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is one of the best miniseries in the past decade. Mr. Miracle, you can say the same thing about. You won't find anybody who's read either of those that hated them. They weren't like, oh, damn, that was pretty good, or either freaking awesome.
And he's in the writer's room for Lanterns as well.
Whereas he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the, we've talked about this before because we've covered a lot of TK series over the years. He does a lot of maxi and mini series. He's kind of like I don't like in his writing style, but just the format of his work is very James Patterson-esque to me in a sense that I feel like he's writing these with the idea in his mind. This could get picked up down the road. Mm-hmm. Walking Dead guy, Void Rivals guy, mm-hmm. Firepower guy. What's his name?
Robert Kirkman.
Does the same thing. He writes his comics thinking this could get picked up down the road. It's almost like season-y and all this and that. But yeah, I think this stuff is highly, highly adaptable to the big screen or the small screen. Could you imagine if they did a Strange Adventures show and adapted his Strange Adventures with him and Mr. Terrific? That would be insane. I saw that Adam Strange at Walmart today too, the McFarlane figure. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it hurt to leave it behind.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tom King has written some of the, obviously some of the most successful comics of the last few years as well. I always thought, I'm going way back. I can't even go back. I mean, he was very polarizing on Batman, obviously, way back. But I still think that he did some really good work, and he got to come back and do Batman and Catwoman. So I kind of liked what he did with. I do wish that they would find a way to bring Alfred back, but because I think Batman needs his Alfred. I
don't disagree, but I do commend them on their commitment to kind of keep him out of the game, because we get moments like what we just had in World's Finest. Dude, that choked me up. That legit choked me up when Dick Grayson or when Robin and Batman are there and they're just like teary-eyed, just looking at Alfred, and Superman's like, just hand on the shoulder. All right, Alfred, we gotta go, right? Like, yeah, make sure you tell them bye. Like, and Superman's like trying to protect the time stream, but trying to respect them in that moment. Like, yeah. Mark says no toys and looks longingly down the aisle. No, it's worse. They're in my hand. I'm looking longingly at them. And I took my mom out and about with us today, and she's like, why don't you get him? I'm like, why are you a bad influence on me? King also wrote Heroes in Crisis, and that Batman run has some real issues. Yeah, the Batman run definitely ran into some issues, but it also gave us some amazing, amazing moments. What was like War of Jokes and Riddles was in there. You got the Kite Man stuff in there. Like, and Heroes in Crisis, dude, you're not going to get me. Like, honest to God, what don't you like about Heroes in Crisis? I'd be very curious to know, because the Harley Quinn booster dynamic was amazing to do the narrative through them. The whole concept of Sanctuary was great. And I hope to God he says something about Wally West, because I'm ready to go in on that. I don't know why I liked Heroes of Crisis. I read it before I was ever really keeping up with like people on you. Before I knew about like YouTube comic stuff, I read it just as like my own, like in my own little bubble of just reading stuff and just thinking about it on my own. Dude, I liked Heroes in Crisis so much. I've reread it. Like, it's Clay Mann artwork too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, come on. Boo. Speaking of Clay Mann artwork, what if we did a Batman Killing Time? Boo. Boo. Speaking of which, I'm happy to announce Suck It Up Old Man has been picked up by Amazon. They are in talks with a gender-swapped Suck It Up Old Woman starring Meryl Streep, fingers crossed. Ooh, you can do it.
Award season, Meryl Streep.
Let's do it. Oh, I'm trying to get you started, Drew. I'm trying to get you started. We can save it for when we're on a stream together, because I ain't trying to like sit there and aggravate you about it, but I legitimately love unpacking these stories and debating the merits of these stories. That's why we like to read them and talk about them. But I genuinely think Heroes in Crisis did something, and it took a major swing, and it was a home run, in my opinion, for the medium itself. And as like a big DC guy, it did so much for what came before it and after. I was going to say,
if we didn't have Heroes in Crisis, we wouldn't have had Jeremy Adams stories in Flash.
Ooh, and then go back before Heroes in Crisis. Why is Wally there to begin with? Mm-hmm. Because the New 52 existed. They didn't ignore the reality for these characters. These are fictional characters, but they refuse to ignore the reality that they live in. This Wally is the same Wally that doesn't have his wife and children anymore. This is the same Wally that came back in Rebirth. He has full recollection of everything before the New 52. He's an anomaly. He was the lightning rod that kind of brought Barry back and all that stuff. He's in pain, and he didn't actively hurt or harm anybody. He wasn't the trigger man. He wasn't the gun. He was the catalyst of an explosion that he had no control over, no know-how about. Like, it had there's no fault in any of this. So I never got any of that. But then when you had the introduction of Tempest Fugonaut and Flash Forward, that miniseries that came after it, I'm like, yo, they're making the right steps right now. This is insane. And then what Jeremy Adams did, that revealed that it was Roy Harper who fired the shot. Mm-hmm. And not to fire the shot to hurt anybody, fired the shot to get Wally out of there and down his path. Like, that was next level. Like, dude, I can't tell you. Like, I got goosebumps right now thinking about when they're just stuck in that second having that conversation. And Roy's like, no, dude, you got to go. And it takes a shot like, oh my God. That was just amazing. Oof. Well, my PS4 is on its last legs, so it's either toys or finally get a PS5. Get a PS3. Really throw a curveball to everybody. Hell, get an N64. You don't have to buy another system ever again. Ever again. Tom King is really good and then really awful. Loved Miracle, Jokes and Riddles. There's been some other stuff. Who will play Scott Free? Since voice equals live action, casting and guns, DC Universe. I think you could really get anybody for Scott Free. Dude, who's the little guy who did the voice of Peter B. Parker? He's from like the New Girl TV show. My wife loves this actor from the New Girl TV show. He's hilarious. But he was the voice actor in Spider-Verse. He was Tom Cruise's little sidekick in The Mummy.
Yeah, I was thinking for Scott Free, I was thinking John Hamm.
Too old, too big, too regal, in my opinion.
You think?
Yeah. I want somebody smaller because Barda has to be significantly bigger than him. Jake Johnson. I think Jake Johnson would be a good one because, Scott's kind of like campy, sarcastic, and all that stuff. Let me see. Like, this is just John Hamm is, I think he would have been a great Superman or Batman back in the day. Is this who I think it is? Jake Johnson? Let's see. That's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Put him in there. He's in everything.
Yeah, this guy.
He'll be too busy being James Bond. He won't be able to do that.
Dude, I hope to God they get him for Bond. I think that's a layup. Aaron Taylor Johnson as James Bond. I think this guy could be a good Scott Free.
Oh, okay.
But he's a little bit shorter. I mean, he's not like a hobbit, but he's like I don't know, he's like 5'5" maybe, around there. But he's kind of smaller framed. I don't picture Scott Free as like ripped, I don't picture him jacked or something, just kind of a casual guy. Mm-hmm. But he's got like the kind of smarkiness He's got sarcastic down pat. And that's definitely Scott, at least in modern times. And you can also do the little Pedro Pascal. Confirmed. Yeah, you need a dweeb for Scott Free, like a Paul Rudd type. Exactly. That's how I picture him too. Never want to hear about the Trinity and how powerful they are again. If Harley can beat Batman with soups and the Amazons, 995 of the Marvel Universe would screw him up. That's fair. That's super fair. What is going on, Kev? John Hamm is Peter Porker. That'd be funny. Yeah. Dude, do you think one day they're going to make another Spider-Verse movie?
They are. It's supposed to come out in 2027, I believe.
So we're getting Spaceballs 2 before the next one of those. Yeah,
Could be.
Could be. Last thing I got on here about the movie news. Armor Wars reportedly been canceled. And for numerous reasons. Just because of the delays and the pushback, it looks like a lot of the story elements that were going to be Armor Wars have been kind of taken and used in other stuff, including the return of Ultron is being used in Vision Quest. I'm sure stuff in the Riri Williams show, Ironheart, that's coming up is coming from this. So I'm wondering if Rhodey will be in Ironheart or Vision Quest or elsewhere. But this Armor War thing has been a cursed project from the beginning kind of thing. It's unfortunate, but we'll see. We'll see. The Ironheart show starts really soon here, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Like
I know they stopped paying for marketing.
I think it's before the end of the month, I think. For some reason, I want to say that.
Anybody in the chat know when that is?
I can look it up. No good.
No, I'm not even sure if I want to watch it. Riri, she's not a character I care about. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with the Hood.
June 24th.
June 20th. That's coming quick. So we'll have a show to talk about. If nothing else is on, Naked and Afraid and Ironheart.
Naked and Afraid.
What is this? Sean Sippos? Who is that?
He's the guy who I think played Adam Strange on Krypton.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, that is. Sure is. Yeah, that's the kind of size and build I'm thinking too. Yeah, that Krypton show with low key really good. Really good. Yeah, well, Parker's a cool character. I'm super curious. By no stretch of the imagination do I think it'll be good. But I'm really curious what Sacha Baron Cohen is going to do with Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think that people have been speculating and talking about Mephisto since WandaVision, all the way down to the wallpaper design. Is that Mephisto's face?
Yeah.
And they saved Mephisto for Ironheart show.
Yeah,
what?
Mephisto was supposed to appear in everything until he didn't.
Yeah, it's been Naked and Afraid weekend, Kevin. He did play Reacher's buddy. Yeah, he sure did. Want to learn more about his lore? Which one? The Hood? Yep. He just has a magic hood. Magic hood. He's just a criminal. Magic hood. But he has a really great miniseries where he kind of takes over like the crime in the city. And recently when Benjamin Percy did that Ghost Rider run last year where the Hood, the Spirit of Vengeance gets sick of Johnny not letting it go buck wild and it finds Parker who will let it go buck wild. That was actually pretty solid. Benjamin Percy's going to be doing the next Punisher run too. So I'm excited to pick up the next Punisher run now. I like the Jason Aaron one as much as everyone, not everyone by any stretch of the imagination, as much pushback as that Jason Aaron run got. People are like, oh, they took his symbol. They didn't take his symbol. It was literally on a shrine next to his bed while he was working for the Hand. On a shrine. Literally put it on a pedestal. Like he has it for when he needs to put it back on. But symbol's back. Because he's no longer working for the Hand. He's no longer the demon head. He's no longer like possessed by a literal demon deity. So he got his regular outfit back on. But I'm excited that Benjamin Percy's writing it. I've loved what he's done with Ghost Rider in recent time.
It's been too long since we've seen the motorcycle scene.
Now we need one. We need one with Punisher doing it. If he doesn't, that's kind of like a crime, right? At this point, we had Nightwing do it. We had Ghost Rider do it. And if he doesn't do it with Punisher, is he even a Marvel fan?
Right.
I'm going to have to go. We'll go pull out those pages and we'll make post once a month. Every time a new issue drops and it's not in there, Paul, we'll just do a post. Where's the scene?
Where's the scene?
Where's Devil's Peak at, bro?
Yeah.
If he's not racing, if he's not in an arms race, it can be an arms race this time.
There you go.
Frank Castle in an arms race. The Disney shows ruined Marvel. I can definitely agree with that. The only exceptional show looks to be Vision Quest. Yeah, I think it ruined the MCU for a lot of general audience people that didn't maybe keep up with the shows, that weren't that invested, that just watched movies, because they started watching these movies with no context or understanding of who people are or what was going on. It was just, I don't know. It was a good experiment. It was a good shot. You know, it worked in the movies. They tried to expand it. It didn't really work out too well. And maybe pull back, make some corrections, keep it pushing. The greatest trick Mephisto ever played was making you think he doesn't exist. Yeah, here he is. He's here. That's right. What if Ironheart is a cultural breakthrough and brings political unity and world peace? Then we'll be there for it, Drew. We'll be there for it. But I won't be holding my breath in the meantime. I prefer Ennis on Punisher. Yeah, probably his most like iconic era ever. That Marvel Max era run. I remember watching Punisher Warzone for the first time, the Ray Stevenson Punisher movie, which I freaking loved. In the opening scene, they recreate the scene from the Ennis run where he breaks into the mob house where they're like celebrating after court or whatever, and he goes in and he like latches onto the chandelier and he's spinning around, just mowing everyone down. I'm like, yeah, I've seen that in the book. If you want to know the Hood's lore, Eric, look up History of the Marvel Universe channel. He did a whole video history. No, don't do that. Do one of two things. One, just go buy a comic. Two, read the comic. Go check it out in the comic. Don't cheat. I never thought about that at all. All these Comics Explained channels and stuff, they're out. You don't have to buy comics anymore. You can just watch recaps of them. The stories are so much better. Go read them. They're out there. Go to your library. Trade paperbacks are all through libraries. The Libby app or Lippy. AR's in here somewhere. He'll inform you on how to read comics for free with nothing but a digital library card. Rosenberg's Punisher was great. Have him hijack War Machine armor in the MCU. Bernthal versus Cheadle. Armor Wars is back on. Dude, that would be the way. Put Bernthal in the Punisher Iron Man suit. That would be nuts. Yeah, Warzone was dope. Yeah, I like the Ray Stevenson one a lot. What's going on? Michael Rushbrook is in the house. Comics Curing Cancer House artist. He's worked on the art book 2 years in a row now. Like, got his original piece right there from last year's art book, the Godzilla piece. Yeah, they really did drop the ball on a lot of these. Comics are easy to read, have tons of pictures.
There you go.
Yep. Don't cheat. It's not cheating, it's learning. And you'll learn with the book. Learn with the book. I say that, but I go to bed every night listening to conspiracy videos. I'm not reading conspiracy books. Oh, man. All right. Speaking of books, you got anything else that you want to hit on from this week before we show everyone this weird Superman picture again and then get into comics?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. Well, it was a pretty solid week for comics. We're going to gloss over it. Got to mention the Absolute Bane thing, but we did the entire recording already for that. DC Deep Dive. Tomorrow at 10.
Correct.
Section
On my
20.
channel.
Check the link in the description of all my videos. You can find Paul's link just right down there. Every Monday we have a DC Deep Dive. We're doing in-depth, like page by page, play by play, thought by thought of the Absolute universe, as well as whatever DC event is going on. And we did that. So if you're keeping up, if you don't want to look up the Comics History channel and you want to read the Comics Present channel, that's going to be Paul's DC Deep Dive. We're going to rename it Comics Presence channel. It's got this comics in real time. But Absolute Bane is an absolute psychopath. Wild. The Absolute Bane lives up to the name for sure. He's absolutely wicked. Wicked. But I hope everybody's picking up the Absolute stuff. This guy's popping people's heads like zits. He's a lot bigger, more menacing than we know. We dive into what this Arc M facility is. We're looking for Wayland that's missing. There's all kinds of stuff that happens in this book. It's 90 miles an hour from the first page all the way to the end. Highly recommend it. Anyone read the latest issue of DC versus Vampires? What Darkseid did? Holy potatoes! I have not. I bailed on the Vampires one. DC's does it for me. Well, that Rosenberg run only issue was when he escaped into the New York sewer system as a bunch of heroes that live in the city. Look on as he gets away. It's a sewer. What can we do? Facts. Anyone read the latest? Marvel equals comics. Oof. Man, I really respect anybody that's held in there and kept spending their money on and looking forward to and like expecting stuff out of Marvel in the last decade. I really feel for them. There's been some good ones here and there, but it's just I hope they start caring a little more again. Is it because at this point all I get is Hulk. Ghost Rider's on break right now, and there's real Avengers Twilight was short lived. You know, there's just little mini series. There's nothing else worth picking up. I like hearing that the people liking the Ultimate stuff, but it didn't do it for me. It didn't feel bad. It just didn't draw me in. But Marvel equals the best and the absolute worst of comics. Comics are so much more than just that overbloated company facts. Haven't picked up any of the Absolute Batman books. They're amazing, dude. They're absolutely amazing, pun intended. Bobby De La Ghetto is in the house. What's going on, Bobby? All right, what book do you want to hit on first, Paul? In celebration of King's Day, Aquaman, King of Atlantis.
He is bringing in, Jeremy Adams is bringing in more characters than you can shake a stick at. And all I have to say, if you haven't read this, the final page is like, where did he come up with that? I won't tell you who it is, but I just say it's form of an ice comic.
Form of an ice comic, yeah. Yeah, good one there. You know what's funny is Pops has he's for God, at least over 5 years, he's had his logo shirt. Back when Graffiti did the shirts through previews, he got his shirt. So he's got the purple shirt with the symbol on it and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is issue 6, so they should get to collecting this into a collected volume. Now, I highly recommend people check it out if you don't have the DC Universe app. The opening scene, Atlantis goes missing. The entire population and a lot of building structures. Aquaman's out looking for them. Ultimately, Jeremy Adams has introduced the blue. Swamp Thing is the avatar of the green. You have like Animal Man is one of the avatars of the red. Solomon Grundy the gray. He's introduced the blue. The blue had never been done before in DC Comics, so it's pretty wild. This crazy superpowered bad guy called Dagon is down there wrecking all the aquatic gods of lore and history and mythos, and he's just like taking it all over. And he seems to be the one that took Atlantis, Mira included. And Aquaman's been out to try to catch up to her and find her along his journey. He's picked up Arion from the Atlantis Chronicles, Lilith, the famous lady in the water. So it's the three of them riding together. And in the last issue, they came across freaking Captain Nemo. Yes, that Captain Nemo. They are riding the freaking Nautilus, fighting off sea monsters in this issue. It's amazing. All to
and
get
he
the
looks
Dagon.
just like he did in Alan Moore's run too.
He does. He really does. So it's freaking amazing. So ultimately, it's like they're making their way there. In this one, we kind of get a look and check in on what happened to all of these gods of lore from different cultures and stuff. They exist and they existed. They exist in a different state of existence now, thanks to Dagon. And so Arthur's ultimately trying to get to him. He's almost there. He's almost there. It's been a crazy journey. John Tim's art fits this book perfectly. Anything that Jeremy Adams does is amazing. And God, I hope this goes on forever. Just forever.
Yeah, and we were talking, and I think that's going to be a major part of whatever the next big event is. You called it Splash Point, which was pretty funny, by the way.
Splash Point, yeah. If we get an Aquaman event, it has to be called Splash Point.
Right.
I've gotten a ton out of Marvel. Can't judge what you haven't read. Big facts. I completely agree. Completely agree. But if I drive down the road and every house I pass has a red door, it's a fair assumption. It's still an assumption, but it's a fair assumption that after 357 houses with red doors, that the next one will have a red door too. I won't always be right. It's a fair assumption. No,
I've never been shot, but I'm pretty sure it hurts.
Yeah, I've never been shot. Pretty sure it hurts. It's like when my kids run up to me and go, "Ew, smell that." No, I don't need to. I bet it stinks.
Exactly. That's the worst thing when people do that to other people. Oh, I think this is bad. You taste it.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there, man. Like I said, I was loving Ghost Rider till the current run stopped. I'll be picking it up when the next one starts. The Hulk stuff that Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing is good enough. Philip Kennedy Johnson's kind of fallen off a little bit. He needs to be picking up some more stuff. I don't know. Well, granted, I don't read that Batman book that he's writing at DC, so I don't know. He's just kind of falling off the radar, not quality-wise. Yeah, and everyone's loving the Ultimate stuff. I don't know if everyone's loving the Ultimate X-Men stuff, but like I said, I'm glad to hear everyone's liking that. I've picked up a couple issues of the Ultimates here and there just to check in with it, but I've read a bunch I can judge. Main Marvel 616 is doing great things, Ryan North. Yeah, and I hear a lot of positive stuff about Ryan North, especially from AR. He's doing a great story and fantastic turtlenecks. One World Under Doom is top tier. Great young, what is that? Great young and heroes and new champions. There you go. I honestly wouldn't know. They've burnt me so many times. I said no more and haven't spent a dime on anything of theirs since, honestly, never been happier since I get my school and indie books every week. The AR has been singing Ryan North's praises for a long time now. Time.
You can follow Ryan North into crypto, comic crypto.
And isn't he also going to be? Is he doing something with the crossover book as well?
Not sure. He was doing Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks for IDW as well, but I think he's moved off that. But yeah, he was doing great things there too. So.
I see that movie called Behind the Green Door. Isn't that the one with the Life of Pi kid?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. X-Men side of things has been low-key great, stemming from the ashes of Krakoa. I almost picked up Helverine. Almost. I got the stuff that came out when they did the actual introduction of him in the main Hulk run, but I try to keep it tight. My pool list is at the point where I'm leaving like DC books behind and other stuff. It's just what great problems to have. Realistically, there's so many books out there worth picking up. You actually have to. Yeah, it's good enough. That's what I'm saying. It's mid. It's good enough. Long in the tooth for sure. And the inconsistency in the artwork is just lazy on the creator's part. But there's so many good books out there. You really have to weigh the options because there's not enough time in the day between the entire Ghost Machine catalog I get, the Energon catalog, a lot of stuff from Dynamite right now with the Hanna-Barbera stuff they're doing with Space Ghost, Johnny Quest, Herculoids, the Terminator stuff. You got the Dick Tracy books out right now at Mad Cave. The Phantom book is supposed to be on the way soon, but the Defenders of the Earth has one more issue. There's just legit a lot of comics out there. If you hear anybody say, I don't read new comics anymore because they all suck, now that's a truly uninformed take, truly. And a lot of the stuff, yeah, and to be fair, if you've been on the channel long enough, you know a lot of the stuff that I say, I just like to talk shit. I like to troll people. It's just fun. But some people catch on to that sooner than others.
I love this Mad Cave.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
I think Inaki Miranda did some covers for that.
This is a Inaki Miranda cover right here.
Right there. Yeah, look at that.
He's done all the 8 covers so far.
What issue is it up to?
This is number 10.
Damn, this guy has moved along pretty well.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty solid.
If you were a Battle of the Planet guy.
Also, I'm sure that's one that Pop's will end up buying the trade paperback of. He doesn't pull new books anymore. He hasn't in a long time, but he still picks up trades, of stuff that he wants to check out. He doesn't pick up like Marvel or DC trades under any scenario, but he'll pick up like the Space Ghost trade and stuff like that. But yeah. Keeping with the Jeremy Adams conversation, our second layover issue for Green Lantern Corps, this book went from being like can't miss cosmic level universe altering events in a spin-off series to just kind of like a little like let's just check in with the characters we didn't have much to do with in the past few issues. Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, Teen Lantern, and a Space Cabbie makes an appearance in this. They're off just kind of doing just like a little harebrainness, this and that. They run into a villain, get stuck in a prison of their mind that they're sharing together and have an hour to get out of. Guy hits his little radio signal for an old friend, and Space Cabbie pulls up and gets him out of there. It was a fun issue. It was cool getting to spend some time with Simon. It was cool getting to spend some time with Guy, the little trainee, the little Weasley-looking small forest critter trainee lantern that Guy had under him that he reluctantly had actually flexed in this, and he turns into like a monstrous size, like tiger man of a creature. And Guy's like, oh, I trained him. Had some cool little fun moments in there. But it was ultimately the whole catalyst that set the story off. It was Teen Lantern's birthday, and they set out to go to a place that's not the nicest place in the universe, looking for a certain item that she could use for her experiments and stuff, and they ended up getting it for her, of course. Boom. Yeah, a little compliment. I
Thank
like
you.
that shirt, Sector. Now, Drew, I'd be serious. I mean, I'm seriously questioning this. Like, what does that even mean? Because we know, like, I stopped reading ASM, but countless people pick it up still. And I've never heard one person in the past 4 years solid. No, what year is it? 6 years solid. I haven't heard one person compliment ASM on its merits. So I'm a little interested by that because I don't think many people were happy with the Dan Slott one to begin with. Has the whole Mary Jane thing that he did, but yeah, that's like the biggest. I
Yeah,
think
and then
that's
he
like
did.
where most comic fans come together, right? Like, again, I'm
Yeah,
not reading it, so I can't judge it. But like Brian LCS, diehard Spider-Man fan, Rob, comic vet, like the numbers are countless. Spider-Man has got one of the biggest fan bases in history, and people buy his book even when they don't like it because they're collecting it for their runs and they're still reading it. And I don't hear anything but heartbreak since I've been on YouTube about that stuff. And I've popped in and out trying to find a good jump on point, and I'm just like, this ain't it. This ain't it. But I'd be interested to hear the
yeah.
breakdown.
The big thing I thought with Dan Slott was the Superior Spider-Man thing that he did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Superior gets high praise. I went back and checked out some of that even. And I like what they did with Life Story, even when they touched on that Superior era and Life Story. Now, Life Story was good. Spider Shadow was pretty solid. So I'll grab like those kind of things. I like Spider-Man. I just don't like bad
And
comics.
Bill Kelly's doing it now, I believe.
Oh, because I did pick up and
Yes,
read
we
number
started.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did pick up and read number one when it restarted. And I wouldn't say it was bad. I didn't enjoy it. And just we're so far removed from I think I might have aged myself out of Spider-Man, which that could happen to like everybody, like not the character, but like what's happening in continuity. He's so far removed from like if you ask anybody, like tell me things about Spider-Man, and you like create a checklist of 5 items that everybody kind of mentions. We don't have very many of those on the checklist right now, in my opinion. Upward momentum is a good thing. I like some of the page layouts, like when he was fighting the Rhino and the splash page stuff, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about his new girly friend and all that. What did you think of the return of Superboy and an ongoing comic? What do you think? Mark Waid, legendary comic writer who's back with a vengeance, like doing so much work at DC right now.
I like the return of the original logo, including the font that they used for
Yeah,
comics.
I like the corner box art.
Yeah, exactly. That. So we have the original logo. We have a return of the box art, which goes back to the Triangle era. So there we go. There we go. And we got Mark Waid, who has encyclopedia knowledge of Superman. In fact, even to the point where he reminds us that Superman's birthday is June 18th. So this
Around the
Wednesday,
corner.
don't forget to say hello and wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's pretty solid. So for
Yeah.
context wise, we just started Superman Unlimited, the Dan Slott Superman story, which that issue 1 was like shocked me. Like I was like, ooh, I'm super nervous. So good. So good. Even if you're not a Superman fan, collector, whatever, just buy that one book and just read it. Check it out. See what you think about like an introductory issue. And if you're a longtime fan or a new fan of the character, it was for you. I was super impressed with the skill that Dan Slott put into crafting that issue. But because now we have Superman proper and Superman Unlimited, we did have action as another Superman ongoing. They've shifted action to it's a Superboy comic now. Still action titled, still the same numbering, but we're just going back and it's the new adventures of Superboy in Action Comics. And it's basically him and his family going to the World's Fair and why the World's Fair is important to him as a curious youngster and everything. Nobody has seen Superboy before. It's before he ever took flight in front of anybody in public. And it's that story of the moment when something hit the fan and he had to rip open the shirt and show the S and go public. Not with a secret identity, but bring Superboy to the public for the first time. It was a great story. It was family friendly. It was accessible. It kind of had that light-hearted feel to it. And it was pleasant. I think that was a good way to put it. It's definitely pleasant. At least that was my takeaway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming that what he's doing now is going to be canon because they're doing it now because Superman's birthday has been all over the place. It used to be leap year, was February 29th was his birthday.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was leap year last year. Not
Yeah.
not actual leap year. That's they were talking about his birthday.
Yeah.
Didn't they celebrate the publication date of Action Comics 1 half the time?
In April or whatever, right? Yeah. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see. If we see a lot of it'll be interesting to see, and I think they've hinted at this, that a lot of the things, even though it's going back to Superboy, they're going to have some effect on what's happening in the present.
Yeah. Hopefully they won't run into the same issues that they had in the New 52 era when they were running
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is have Mark Waid do something that is going to nullify what he's doing in the present somehow. So.
Yeah. Love Dan Slott. Going to be weird him writing for DC. True. DC is eating off Mark Waid right now. Top 5 DC books are all Waid.
Top 5 are absolute books.
Yeah. Yeah. Sales wise, the top 5 comics out there are all absolute books right now. But yeah, the Mark Waid, quality wise, you have action.
Yeah, he's definitely pumping out the books though. He's trying to make up for all those years when Dan DiDio was there, wouldn't hire him back.
Oh, he's making up for it. Now he's popping up in documentaries. And he's Mr. DC right now. He absolutely is. He's carrying so much weight.
Next month he'll add another one, maybe even the end of this month. The new history of the DC universe starts coming out.
Oh yeah. That's not going to be ongoing though, right?
No, it's 4 issues.
4 issues, yeah. That's funny. We went from 2 issues to 2 issues with the other. No, 4. I think we did 4 issues with the other history, maybe 3. Yeah, that was bad. That was John Ridley. Yeah. That was trash.
That was the other history of the DC universe.
Yeah, the other history, the actual false history of the DC universe. Right. Hey, remember the Teen Titans? They're all racist. What the fuck? Yo, this is bad. Yo, it wasn't bad. Let's go. Oh man, this was amazing. Geiger issue number 15 with who would I'd argue is the greatest comic book writer of my lifetime, Jeff Johns. I think I'd win that argument too. But Gary Frank, Jeff Johns, the big finale to this story arc where they're looking at the whole event with Ash Arden, the glowing woman, where it turns out she might be a little bit psycho. She's going to set off a nuclear warhead in hopes that Geiger will drain it all in, thus taking it from her. Geiger initially went seeking this woman, being told that she has found out how to control the power and this and that, which he can't to that degree. And it's kind of made her a little crazy. She doesn't want it, whether she can control it or not. She's willing to kill millions to do it. And she feels ultimately that he's responsible for it, that she isn't responsible. President Griffin, the mysterious character, is wrapped in bandages, much like the Invisible Man, is on the scene with his military forces trying to get into the encampment. Big battles going down. Junkyard Joe's there. Nate the Knight's there. Barney the Two-Headed Wolf is there. Zigzag's there. The whole crew's there. Geiger and Ashley are going full at it. Crazy battle. The bomb actually goes off. I didn't expect it to go off. The bomb goes off. Like, they leaned all the way into this amazing 2-page spread. Gary Frank's artwork doesn't hold back, and he just pushes the boundaries of the medium and giving us some great visuals. Ultimately, Geiger draws it in, draws as much in as he can. He's not going to be able to do it on his own. And Ash has a moment of realization of the severity of the situation and jumps back into the fight and helps draw it all in as well, feeling regret for what was happening in that moment. They seem to get away and get out of there before President Griffin can get him, but we get a tease at what he's possibly capable of. He's up to something. He has some kind of abilities or something that we don't know about, but we do get a tease where he puts his hand down on the ground. You can see almost like he's pulling energy out, and he's getting a sense of which way they went. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. The Ghost Machine universe is crushing it.
Yeah, we see Junkyard Joe has seen better times. He's left with Dr. Molotov to have him try to fix him.
Yeah, you fix him or we'll just kill you. We're done with you. Yeah, when we talk about blaming people for the unnamed war, that's the guy. That's him. He is it. Absolute is DC. There's no withstanding it. Come on now. Absolute is a separate continuity. It doesn't count. Is it though? It's not a separate continuity. It's just a different location. That's like saying Texas is a different continuity than Georgia. It's not. It's just different
Yeah,
location.
and because at one point, I guarantee you, the two will come together. In fact, we have people. We have
They
Booster
already
Gold,
have.
who was in the wrong, who was in the wrong one place. So there are already people. We have the Legion of Darkseid, who is in. So they're already having crossovers. So
Yeah, so it's definitely the same continuity, and the Legion has appeared numerous times in little teases and in Superman proper. That's what we're about to do. And if you don't know who the Legion of Darkseid is, if you read the DC All-In special, you saw them at the last page, how the flip book ended in the middle. But it's not an alternate reality. It's just a different
they're happening at the
location.
same time. It's kind of like what's going on with in the Ghost Machine universe. You have the Rockefellers who are in the Odyssey group. You have the Unnamed, who is another group. They're
Hyde
all
Street.
exactly. So you have all of these that are happening at the same time, and at some point they do become aware of each other. So it's not like they're alternate. They're the same reality is just kind of happening in different
Yeah,
places.
for context, Mr. Terrific in the main DC universe has been trying to get access to the absolute world since the DC All-In
Right.
special where it was created. It was created by Darkseid. Main continuity, main timeline Darkseid took a shot at the Justice League Unlimited. He went and jacked the Spirit of Vengeance itself, pulled the Spectre out of Jim Corrigan and forced it to bond with him, and then went and attacked the Justice League just to get enough power that when he died, he would have full potential of what he is, and he became the absolute world. But he did it over there. The Mr. Terrific has they can see it on the sensors. They know it's there. They're trying to get access to it, and they got access to it. They got the sensor up and running, and they did it in the Superman Lex Luthor one-shot special about 3 months ago. And between now and then, the Legion of Darkseid that's over on the absolute world has been coming over here that other people don't know about, except Time Trapper knows, Booster Gold damn sure knows, Validus knows. Validus, keep in mind that in the Superman Summer of Superman one-shot special that came out last month, Validus was popping here and there. Like he's popping between here and there as well in that story. But Earth 2 isn't DC Universe proper. Depends on what time area you're referring to Earth 2. Because there are times when, I think you're just talking about Earth Prime. You're just saying Earth Prime, but continuity-wise, there you might have been away for a little while, but they've changed up the way that. So that's like saying, yeah, but Jupiter is not in the same timeline as us because it's over there on a different planet. That's all it is. These are different planets at this point right now in the same universe. It's not even a multiverse right now. There's not even a multiverse right now in DC. It's just the Prime Earth and the Elseworld, which is the absolute world. Since the events of Dawn of DC.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what it was called? Final Crisis? What was that last one?
The death metal was when the absolute universe was created.
Yeah, ultimately, but when they shrank down the multiverse again at the end of Crisis on the what was that last Dawn of DC Crisis? The one that spawned the Dawn of DC.
Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Crisis on Infinite Earth. Mr. Terrific needs to chill. Yeah, he does. But yeah, it's a little bit different right now. It's a little bit tighter right now. I think that's helping the overall continuity as well. It's super tight right now. Super tight. Another one that came out this week. I told you I've been getting these dynamite things. I love Terminator. This was dope. So far, this has felt almost like an anthology where we're doing a story here in time, a story there in time. We did the 1970s, chasing his family in Alaska. We did Vietnam. We did the Cold War and a Russian sub. This bridges it all together. You find out that they were doing this whole family tree targeted initiative, and Skynet has found out that it's losing too many T-800s and the success rate isn't as high as it needs to be to justify logically this mission. And they reassess and everything after trying to run these protocols, actually shortwire some T-800s because it's too complex. Ultimately, they come down to the conclusion that we need a target, and the last page, target detected Sarah Connor. And it's cool because the whole thing is like almost through the the reboot lens of a T800. Like as you're going through like on the screens, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. But that was it for me. I haven't read my Transformers book yet. I was an issue behind on Void Rivals, but I'm looking forward to this. We're getting close to the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's run. He ends at issue 24. That is so up its own ass. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But yeah, it's cool stuff. Cool stuff. You got any other ones from this week, Paul?
Nope.
And we're past the hour and a half mark. Past 10, and that kid screaming back there. So
Don't forget, this week you could possibly win a trip to go see to Hollywood to see the premiere of Superman.
And you can win it this week on Guess That Key. No.
If you buy the facsimile edition of Adventure Comics number 210, they'll be polybagged. They're bagged. And apparently there'll be 2 like golden tickets that are in, and 2 lucky people will win a trip to Hollywood to see the premiere, to be, I think it's like July 7th, I think, to see the premiere of Superman. So
I wonder if they fly you out, pay your room and board and all
they
that.
do. Yep.
Huh.
So they saw what was happening with the Battle Beast and how everyone loved those bags, so they decided to put the facsimile edition, the reprint of Adventure Comics number 210 in a bag. With
That's interesting.
Gold ticket.
You know what they're banking on is like those tickets just sitting in poly bags that no one actually picks up in time.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of, like, your chances of winning are slim to none.
Oh, absolutely.
That's wild. Only 2 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. What if they're here in Augusta?
You never know. Can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, but if I win, I'm not going either. But it'd be nice to have that ticket as a souvenir.
It would be.
I'm a winner. Yeah, I mainly wouldn't go because it's in California. But other than that, it sounds like it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll stick with my my old Augusta theater. Put it on eBay, sell it. Oh, I know. I just sent it to J-Med. Here, bud. He's already over there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I might play. And just send it to J-Med. You okay, little doggy? He's got the honking. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. I hope everybody gets a chance to check out the video I put up tomorrow, kind of explaining some of the box office misconceptions, looking at Superman and what it actually has to do to be considered a success. For this movie to fail would be a nightmare for the future of the DCU, not for the comics. It would be a nightmare for the future of these movies, this movie universe. So take a look at what it needs to succeed and some common misconceptions about what it means to be a box office flop or not. So be sure to check that video out. It's a lot of fun. I also put my predictions in there for what I think it's going to do. And that's going to do it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. his channel for the DC Deep Dive. It's already recorded and ready to go. And then Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Guess that key where the guests are.
Flo Dameron and Gary B, the casual comic guy.
It's going to be a good time. Hope everybody can make it. Hope you all have a good night. And once again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And until next time, as always, he's Paul, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.
All that ends right now!